Everybody, please welcome Nick, Joe, and Kevin Jonas, also known to you as Jonas Brothers. I am so excited that y'all are here. We've gotten to perform together before, but this is very exciting. I'm a fan of y'all's. I've seen y'all on tour. You're such an incredible band live. I love it. But throughout this hour, we've also got my band joining us on a few songs.
Yeah.
Jason Halbert on piano, Jaco Caraco on guitar, Lester Estelle on drums, and Joe Ayub on bass, and Jesse Collins on background vocals. Give it up for my band. I'm gonna start with this. I mean, I've talked to you a little about this, I guess, personally, but never in an interview setting. Like, I didn't grow up with anyone musical in my family, and like your whole family, I feel like, is musical. What was that like?
We had a very musical home. Our father is a pianist and a singer, and our mom's a singer. So it was just always around, and he was always playing music at the piano in the living room or pulling out the guitar and, you know, teaching us little bits about music history along the way as well. So every car ride, it would be the Bee Gees, the Beatles, Aretha Franklin, Carole King.
Great.
Kind of getting the full, you know, musicology from our father. And it definitely shaped not only our sound, but our connection as family and as brothers.
Yeah, I can only imagine too. Like, I loved family blend is so special, I think. Like Reba, who we both know, but I love like her whole family sings. There's something so magical that's in that sauce that I think is part of the success, right? Like
probably a little bit good and bad, because if anyone is off on their harmonies, you'll know about it too.
Yeah. But your family, so you pointed out right away.
Right away.
No issue there. It's like, that was wrong.
Yeah. No, wait, so your first hit was Year 3000. How'd this song come about?
Okay, so Year 3000 was a song that was originally recorded by a band called Busted in the UK. And we were signed at the time to Columbia Records. And the head of the imprint that we were on, his name is David Massey, shout out David Massey. He had this brilliant idea to have us re-record this song that hadn't made the transition over to the US market. And this was back in the day when you could record a song, release it in one part of the world, and it didn't just travel everywhere. It wasn't on Spotify and these other places.
There were no streaming services there.
Yeah, it was kind of on the radio and sold as a CD. And so, you know, we looked at it as an opportunity to kind of revamp things, because our initial release was an album called It's About Time. And, and we were still struggling to find our sound and kind of understand who we were as artists. We were obviously very young at the time, too, so that musical discovery was happening in real time. And I think what happened is that we made an album that felt a little inauthentic to who we really were. We grew up singing in church and, as you mentioned, singing family harmonies. And some of the people initially that were sort of helping us craft this album thought we should be like a punk rock band, which made no sense.
Yeah.
But it was this song that really broke things open, and we have Busted to thank. It really redefined and shaped our start to our career, and we got to call out
just a
somebody
really
in the
cool
song.
person.
Yeah.
I think you referencing this person is why it was just so successful.
I think you're
The
right.
lyric changed everything. That's it.
You're welcome. No, it was amazing. I remember I was on tour. I was telling you this. I think it was like in a meet and greet, and it was like somebody was like, "Did you hear the Jonas Brothers song?" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "They say your name," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "That's so cool to be referenced in any way in pop culture." I love it.
It's funny because we started playing this song in '05, I guess it was, or '06, and one of our first like festival shows that we were ever on was in Toms River, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And you were the headliner.
Yeah.
You know, we, for like years, as a way to get our foot in the door in interviews, be like, yeah, we opened for Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
We were not an opener. We were like in the parking lot
Yeah.
on like a BBBC stage.
We're handing out valet
Still
tickets.
opening.
Yeah. But we
Still
got
on
to
the
open
floor.
for you back in '05.
Yeah. I love that. No, I remember, I think I was on the Addicted tour. Yeah, and I think it was in '05, but I was like, that's so cool. I felt cool anyway. I didn't know this. Is it true that y'all couldn't tell anyone about your first record deal?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. We were constantly in fear that it was all just gonna be taken away from us. So the whole thing was like, don't tell anybody in case they drop you, which is like, the worst thing to think, but it actually did happen. We did get dropped.
Yeah.
And then we got re-signed.
We told too many people.
Yeah.
But that was the reason behind that. It was a big secret until it wasn't.
Are y'all good at? I would never be able to.
No.
Oh
Well,
my
we were
God.
teenagers.
Told
We
everybody.
The whole world.
Told
That's what I know. I was like, I would tell everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good thing there wasn't like Twitter back then. Because
Oh my God. Aren't we
MySpace.
thankful social media wasn't around
Yeah.
then? That's my take on it.
I'm not really sure what the end game there was. At some point, we were going to be starting to play music live.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're so cool though. It's a secret. I like it. I can't keep secrets. Don't tell me secrets. I'm not a vault. Who were some of your influences though? Because the Harmonies, you had love groups with Harmony, right?
Definitely. I think we would drive around in our minivan with our dad, and he would be playing us everything from the Beatles, Bee Gees, Fleetwood Mac, Jackson 5. A lot of either sibling bands or bands and artists that harmonize well together.
I think he knew.
And so we would just be in the car with him, and he would just be picking out parts and singing together. And our dad had a love for a lot of like country as well, 70s rock. And so for us, it was just kind of like, felt like that was what every other kid was listening to. And he'd go to school and be confused why they don't know the Beatles discography. Be like, that's weird. But yeah, our dad would constantly be singing some of his favorites, some of his roller skating favorites as well.
A good roller skating party though.
Oh yeah, he's actually pretty unbelievable on roller skates.
Doing shoot the duck, like all the old.
He can do it all.
He can do it all.
It's crazy.
Backwards, the whole thing.
What do you love about 70s music? I'm a big fan as well. I like the aesthetic of it too. I love the vibe.
Aesthetic is fire.
Yeah.
You know, I think that the harmonies, the big sound, the Bee Gees specifically were a huge influence on us, obviously being three brothers and all that. And what was really fun is that, you know, there's never a clear path for a song or for an album. There's sometimes you'll write something, you feel really good about it, then it takes a long time for it to materialize in your head. And you go, oh, I think I've got it now. And you know, our most recent single from our album, Greetings from Your Hometown. Is actually a song that we started, you know, I think 7 years ago with an amazing producer friend of ours, Julian Binetta, where we interpolated one of our favorite Bee Gees songs and literally sat on it for years. And then we were shooting a movie up in Toronto and we all like just played it. We're like, shouldn't we finish this one? And it then became the single for this album. It represents us kind of tapping back into our roots, our musical roots, and also, you know, our love for this era in music.
Well, do you remember the first time that y'all heard Staying Alive? You had to be very young.
Very young. I mean, the minivan that we had back in the day in Jersey was very cool.
A sexy silver bullet, I'm sure.
But we would listen to those records, and we had this, you know, one of those like nylon CD cases. Stacked
that
three,
you stack it, yeah.
And we pulled that out, and you know, the Bee Gees' Number Ones was, I think, a record that everybody had in their collection, and so we would listen to that, and you know, Staying Alive obviously became a favorite of ours just because we could all pick different harmony parts and sing and have fun with it.
All right, we are back with Songs and Stories. Jonas Brothers are hanging out. You can find their latest album, Greetings from Your Hometown, wherever you buy your music. After huge initial success, the brothers took a break for about 5 years, which actually I think is really incredibly smart. But talk us through that decision. Like, what kind of happened?
Well, we, you know, I think we kind of mutually wanted to go do our own thing.
Yeah.
And I think we individually wanted to do that at separate times, but I think ultimately, like, it was the best decision we could have made. Yeah. I mean, to be able to, like, go step away and whether create our own projects or just start families or just have time off, and then come back around and be like, let's do this, genuinely for the love of the music. I mean, I remember we were on a trip in Cuba and we were playing acoustically some of the songs that we haven't played in like 5-some years, and the harmonies just kind of came back right away. And we were looking at each other and we're like, this feels really good. Actually, we really miss this. And so the music, getting back into it, and we're collaborating with a bunch of really fun artists. Working with Marshmello, who's an amazing DJ. We got to do a song with him. So a lot of stuff that happened quickly, but it was a lot of fun.
How did that come about? How did you get back together? It wasn't the first one, but it was one of the first ones, is Leave Before You Love Me, which I love.
Oh, thank you.
I vibed out so hard at your concert to this song.
That's
It
a
was,
vibe
y'all
for
were all
sure.
singing to me. It was very special. But I love this song. It's
It
such
does
a great
feel
vibe.
romantic, and then you read the lyrics, you're like, oh.
You're like, wait a minute, yeah.
You gotta
no,
go.
but talk about, how did this come about? How did that song, and that, even, you know, working with him, how did that come about?
It was in the middle of lockdown. We were all becoming friends with Marshmello. Mello, as I call him.
That's what I call him.
And he said, hey, I have this idea. I think, why don't we meet up? And so it was the days of like multiple tests before you walk into a room with a studio. It's just still strange, but we met Mello, we hit it off. We had a great writing session and finished this song up really quickly. And funny little like pop-up video, if you guys remember that.
God, I love
about the music video. If you watch it back, you'll notice the Nick's not moving at all because the day before that, we were filming something where we have a lot of weird hats we worn in our career thus far. And we were competing in our own Olympic-style games. And yeah.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
And it was a great idea, again, on paper, you're like, that sounds fun. And then when you get there, we're like, they want us to do what? They want us to actually compete with
And they totally
gymnasts?
gaslit us. They're like, oh yeah, kids do this.
They kiss me.
Don't you do that to me
Yeah.
and then make me feel shame when I'm bad at it. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was like a motocross racing, our last one was a motocross racing event. And Nick had a spill, and it was pretty bad. It was pretty brutal. And then the next day we shot the video. So you'll see he literally cannot move his body.
Broke his ribs.
Like broke or sprained a rib.
Oh, we were doing The Voice at the time. It was like
I was
3 or
gonna
4
say,
days later, I was
yeah.
on set.
Yeah,
He had a cane. It was great.
Yeah.
a cane.
And Blake thought I was being dramatic.
Yeah. He's
You got to sit down the whole time, though.
Yeah, true.
yeah. If you have a reason. Yeah.
Had to press a button.
Yeah. So you're all fathers now.
What?
Which is crazy.
When?
You are the father. Yeah, this is that show. No. So no. Yeah, the face. How is having kiddos affected? Obviously, it affects tour, affects your schedule a bit more. But how has it affected you musically, like each of you?
I think it changes everything. You know, the lens you see every bit of life through just changes, and priorities shift, and it's a special thing.
Yeah. How is it for you now?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible. I think it's probably, I mean, being a father to girls is so fun. Like Nick said, it's a reason to live life to your fullest, and that's a weird thing a wonderful weird thing that we have in common. The fact that we all have girls, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So being able to write music, usually 3 people in one room, it's sometimes difficult. I'm sure you get it. Like, what are we going to write about today? And the one voice is a little louder, but to know that we have kind of a through line of like, well, we have something in common here. We may not have things in common in relationships, but we'll have certain things in common when it comes to being dads, you know.
Yeah, and that is true. Like the girl dad thing. What about for you, Kevin?
It's the best ever, right? Like, it's changed everything, like they said. But now I'm trying to do the things that our dad did with us. You know, like every day on drop off. When I'm home, I do, the morning. I'm much more of a morning person than my wife Danielle. So.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, I know. I can just get up and go. I can just go. So I do like drop off when I can, and I do the introducing new music thing, and it's always music they've never heard. So like I'm trying to instill that same kind of music in their lives like it was instilled in ours.
You trying to start a band?
No band.
He said
you
same
say?
thing as our dad was doing. He said, I'm like, you trying to start a band, bro?
Oh my God, how great would that be if all your kids formed a
man.
band? That would be amazing.
I don't know about that.
That's like, is that the Mamas and the Papas and Wilson Phillips? Is
Yeah.
that like kind
Yeah.
of similar to what? Did I just make that up?
I think you're right.
No, I'm right. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you're right.
I'm
Just
so cool. I
just
know
go with it.
musical things. Yeah. But wait, so there's a song about parenthood. This is a good segue, and I love it. It's so special, and especially from a girl dad, it's just a beautiful thing to be said for, especially everybody didn't get that dad. Not all girls get that dad. So to celebrate this and have people connecting in the audience with this, it's called Little Bird. How did this come about?
We worked on it with John Bellion. We worked on it with John Bellion, and he's a brilliant singer-songwriter and producer. And this one, even live, and to your point, yeah, I think we make sure to mention, obviously, if you're a parent figure in someone's life, or a father or a daughter or a mom, obviously it's like somebody that you can think of that has been there for you. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes you don't pick, obviously you don't pick your family, but sometimes there's people that come into your life that
You
are
pick
there
your village.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that are there for you. And this has been probably our favorite song as dads to be able to sing for our kiddos, and
Yeah.
and hopefully now it seems like for other people it's special to them as well.
So let's talk about this album and how it came together.
Yes, this album came together over a few years. We tried to take our time with it and make sure that it was the right songs to tell the story about getting back in touch with our roots musically, and also just where we're at this point in our life. There's been a lot of change, and it's been a crazy couple of years since the last release. But we felt like we looked up in January, February this year. We kind of went, oh, it's starting to make sense. We're starting to see the matrix of the album here, and we got to work with some of our favorite people in this album, co-writers and producers, and I gotta say I'm most proud of this one because I feel like it really does kind of embody our sound and the growth of our sound over the years and the different stages of our sort of musical journeys. And the cool part is that Joe also put out his solo album this year, which I think, really represents kind of all the stages of the musical journey. While he was doing that, I was doing the Broadway show, and that influenced some of the sound. There's a bunch of things that kind of we threw in the mix there, and we came out with something I think we're really happy about. And the fact that we get to bring this on tour, celebrating the 20 years with our fans, starting in August till the end of the year.
Your tour is happening now, so what's kind of different with this vibe? I mean, obviously you might have kids in and out, like this one, yeah.
Yeah, well, this will be a celebration of, 20 some years doing this, which is kind of wild, but we get to highlight a lot of our individual stories, and like Nick said, like whether it be solo stuff, D&C, some albums that we maybe don't ever play live that we're gonna be able to play.
Yeah.
We have.
Ooh, nice tease.
That was nice. Yeah, I like the ooh, like it's a bit spooky. We're excited that people are going to be able to hear it.
I love y'all on tour. I've loved y'all musically, but I just mean seeing you live was like a whole nother level for me. But Love Me to Heaven is the new single. This is the first single, right? The first single?
Yeah, so we kicked off this whole kind of year of music and the new album, the tour and everything by doing an event in our home state of New Jersey called Jonas Con.
Crazy.
It was wild.
Yeah.
We basically, we did 6 different shows over the course of, about 8 to 10 hours at this amazing venue in Jersey. And, we got to celebrate this 20-year journey with the fans, but really celebrate the fans, the reason that we're still able to be doing this. And
because you're right, like longevity is not a promise in this industry. Yeah.
And what was really fun was we did this kind of final performance where we spoke about all the things that we had coming up this year, the new album, the tour, and all these things, and some collaborations. And between songs, we had someone out in the audience with a microphone, and we heard some stories direct from our fans. We really described this song, Love Me to Heaven, as a love letter to the fans, and just how much we appreciate their support and all that. And so we heard from them, and there was a few stories that nearly brought us to tears, and some that were just fun. And what I took away from it, and what some of my friends that were there said, was like, this music and the journey we've been on, it's family, and that family has opened up to our fans, and we're so grateful that we get to be a part of the fabric of people's lives by way of the stories we're telling with our music. And that was really representative that night when we heard people speak about some of the tough moments, the happiest moments of their life. To see that we, in whatever little way, got to be a part of that is really meaningful to us. And so this song is really about that.
Nearly 15 years after they started as a band, the brothers found their first Hot 100 #1 hit was Sucker. What did that mean, bro? That's really cool. Usually it's like later in our careers we don't have #1s. That's incredible.
It was surreal. I think just to have the support of everyone, when we announced the comeback, then the song, and then the release, and just to feel that love and support, and just that whole year roll out, and knowing that we had that song and the video shot for so long beforehand, I think and just waiting on it.
Had it in your pocket. Oh, that's
knowing that it was coming out. I think March, 1st, 2nd, something like that.
Doesn't it take forever when you have it done and you really just want everyone to hear it, and you're like, why is this week lasting a year?
Yeah. It's really irritating to wait for music to come out. But it takes about 5 months or 6 months for vinyls to be pressed. So a lot of music is done a lot sooner, and you just have to wait. So that's the whole thing.
Where were y'all when you found out it hit #1? Do you remember? Or
We were in rehearsals for something.
Well, that's inspiring for a rehearsal.
And we were like doing the big, our dad always does, like he was around and then Phil, our manager, like they did this like, we always like walk and talk, like pace and talk in a big circle. And I think they were like, it's looking good. And they wouldn't tell us yet. That was pretty much it.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember.
Meanwhile, cut to footage of y'all just pacing.
Yeah.
No one remembers.
I think we were at SNL when we found out. See, this is the thing, is that our like memory of these events that should be seared in our brains are all different. You ask each one of us to get a different story. But yeah, I thought we were at SNL. Maybe we were at rehearsal for SNL.
We were at some rehearsal for
I
something.
think we were at the dentist's office.
We're the dentist.
I think we're at the dentist. You are so funny. Oh my God. So wait, was Sucker, you
2:30.
recorded a solo version, which I didn't know at first, right?
Yeah, well, originally, so Ryan Tedder, who's one of the main writers on the song, he sent it to us, and I loved it from the jump. I was like, this song is it. And sometimes, like in a band, it's just one person might be a little bit late to the game of being like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So now we've learned to just put your voice on it, and if we like it later, then we'll decide. But this was one that was like, guys, this is it. We got to do it. We got to do it. So it took Nick a little convincing at first.
It's not that I didn't like it. I just was like, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
two of my biggest hits, I was like, that no one's gonna like this. So I was like,
Yeah,
I had no pulse on the people.
You never know.
I played it. So I played the whole album for my wife and some friends at a dinner hang, and then at the end I was like, oh yeah. And then there's this one that just came in. It's I don't know. I think it's cool. And I played Sucker. She's like, what are you doing? That's the single. And I was like, oh, cool.
I don't always catch it. You don't know though. Sometimes you do, but like sometimes you don't.
When you're close to it, it's hard. You know, like you don't see it all.
Yeah, and you're excited
Sometimes
about it.
you know, though.
Yeah. Sometimes, most times I don't. I know. I don't. Because things that hit, I'm like, really? And then the ones you're like, this is a masterpiece. No one listens to.
Always.
You're like, it's always.
I liked it.
I know. I'm like, well, I'm sure. I'm glad me and my mom liked it. Jonas Brothers. Their new album, Greetings from Your Hometown, is out now wherever you buy your music. You can also catch them out on their tour. Go online for info and tickets.